Let's start with Donald Trump. He is, of course, delivering this history-changing, brave, courageous operation in the Middle East. He's giving this operation a 15 out of 10. He said that America is ahead of schedule and American and Israeli military are demolishing the enemy. This is what the president had to say this morning.
But we have the greatest military anywhere in the world. Their Navy is gone. 24 ships in 3 days. That's a lot of ships. Their anti-aircraft weapons are gone, so they have no air force, they have no air defense. All of their airplanes are gone. Their communications are gone. Missiles are gone, launches are gone, about 60% and 64% respectively. Other than that, they're doing quite well. I said, what's left? But they're tough, and they want to fight. And they're calling, they're saying, how do we make a deal? I said, you're being a little bit late, and we want to fight now more than they do. We've had 47 years, depending on the way you count it, but 47 years of horror with this group. And, when you see somebody walking down the street without their legs, without the arms, whose face is so badly affected and hurt, it mostly came from 95% Soleimani and Iran, and we, other presidents, lived with it. I didn't live with it, and so our people are doing a great job. Again, the greatest military anyone's seen.
So, Caleb, I think this is really such a huge part of Trump's legacy now, such a consequential decision, such a courageous decision. And of course, Democrats are not happy about it. But polling suggests that the MAGA base actually is getting behind Donald Trump.
Can I just say, before we talk about it seriously, the guy's just so funny.
Oh, isn't he?
Like, who could make war sound funny? But he just manages to do it. And he said the other day, I think he was asked about, how long the whole operation was going to go. And he said, about 4 weeks, that's how long we thought it would take out all the military leaders, but we've done that in a few days. So we're a bit ahead of schedule. It's just like, oh my God.
Unbelievable.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It's amazing watching him in action. I think just before this operation, he was at Mar-a-Lago. I think he was doing the MAGA dance. The guy is unbelievable, barely sleeping, working around the clock, and then being able to joke around with reporters and deliver information like that. But what he's doing in Iran is so brave and so courageous.
Yeah, and this question about the MAGA base, right? Like, obviously, Trump said we're not going to get involved in these forever wars. He'd been very clear about that. But he's not an isolationist, nor is he an interventionist in the same sense that perhaps you've seen in previous US presidents. Like, I don't think he wants to go in there and be there for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years.
He knows that Americans have no appetite for that, and he doesn't want that either.
Exactly. And that, that's so the risk, right? If you mess that up, that's it. He's done, essentially. But he will do everything within his power to make sure it doesn't get to that point. Because all he wanted to do and what he wanted to achieve, clearly, is to basically neuter Iran in terms of its nuclear capabilities. Seemingly this would have done that. They've knocked off the Ayatollah along the way, which isn't a bad result. You've only got to look at Iranians around the world celebrating that and then wonder, how do you have people, mourning the Ayatollah and suggesting it's an illegal war and we shouldn't have gone in there? It's not like we've gone in there to create a vacuum that, someone else comes along worse and takes over. It is an effort to do the best thing, not only for the US and the West, but for the Middle East. And the Middle East is on board with this as well.
Exactly. And that's what Trump has been doing, getting the Middle East on board. It has been incredibly well planned. The Israelis deserve so much credit, for their intelligence, being able to carry out this operation. Everyone knew it was coming. They still kept the element of surprise. And I suppose the big question is what happens next, right? Everyone's asking that. Of course, things could go wrong, but the result is, the hopeful result would be that there is going to be a better outcome than what's been in place currently and what's been in place for decades. Trump's spoken about this new supreme leader of the saying that that Ayatollah Khamenei's son should not be the new supreme leader. Trump says that they're wasting their time. Khamenei's son is a lightweight. Of course, Donald Trump has to say it like that. And I have to be involved in this appointment, just like Delcy Rodriguez in Venezuela. Khamenei's son is unacceptable to me. We want someone that will bring harmony and peace to Iran. So again, on this question of who that would be, what that would look like, it seems that Trump would want kind of an interim government. You know, maybe democracy is too much to ask for, but an interim government, you know, in the short term.
I mean, this is the most difficult part of the operation, right? Because it's one thing to knock off a leader. It's another entirely to suggest that you have the ability or the right to be part of the replacement of that. And probably the most likely form in which that happens, if it is to happen, is as part of negotiations. I mean, I found it amusing this week around basically saying, you know, we're not entering any negotiations now. What have they got? Like, what does Iran have to play with here? They've been decimated, and the IRGC has been decimated by Israel and the US. The rest of the Middle East hates them. Basically, the rest of the world hates them. They're having
lefties.
Yeah, well, that's but they're
feminists.
Well, that's it. I mean, they can go and move there, as far as I'm concerned. They're having their nuclear capabilities destroyed. So, what does Iran think that it has to negotiate with the US? Basically, nothing. So unless they want to be completely wiped off the map, and I don't mean Iran itself, but the leadership, then they've kind of got to come to the table at some point. And that is presumably where Trump will try to have a say in who the next leader is. But, you know, as with like Afghanistan, for instance, the US went in there. We saw what happened when Biden pulled out and left all the weaponry behind. The Taliban came back. So when you go in and start these things, you have to be able to finish them. Like, you can't just leave vacuums, because those vacuums inevitably get filled with something even worse. People will take an opportunity, never waste a crisis, essentially. But can you have wholesale regime change? I don't think so. Unfortunately, I wish you could, but I don't think so.